Good morning, everybody. I'm so thrilled to be here. So I'm Diana. I am an outpatient neurology nurse practitioner. I used to work in the inpatient world. I am going to be here all day telling you all about outpatient neuro, neuro in general, giving you some tips and tricks. And I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about burnout and about how to best nurture yourself in healthcare so you can stay healthy, stay sane, leave work at work, have energy on your days off, and all the things. Full disclosure, I recently fell skiing and I broke my pelvis. So I am actually, this happened last weekend, I am actually home all day. So I won't be taking you through my office, but I will definitely give you the inside scoop as to how it goes in the office every day, all about my team, all about salary, all about my journey to NP, and why I chose neuro. So I am so thrilled you're here. Definitely send me whatever questions you have, and it's gonna be a great day. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my team and what my role is. So I'm actually an epilepsy NP, and within neuro, typically in the outpatient world in bigger centers, you're going to find that NPs subspecialize within the neuro umbrella. So I'm epilepsy, and I do see some headache disorders. We have an MS specialist, we have movement disorder specialists, cognitive disorders, we have neuro-onc, and these are all nurse practitioners or physician's assistants who specialize in those conditions and see those patients primarily. And then they have physicians who are also subspecialized within their pod. So we're kind of in various pods based on the condition itself. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my team on the next slide. Check it out. Hey, so now that you've learned about my team, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like a typical day for me. Normally I would bring you along with me, but as I said, I'm not going to be able to do that today. So I've put it on the next slide, but I just want to point out that for me, it's very important to prep my charts and like look at the patients ahead of time so I know what I'm dealing with. I can look up what testing they've had, etc. And also, I, as a rule, don't bring charting and / work home with me. I really leave work at work. I've set that boundary very early on, so I have time for myself outside of work. I have time for my family. Boundary setting is so important in medicine. It's something that I didn't do in my first NP job, and it definitely destroyed me, and I burned out pretty heavily. So if you have trouble setting boundaries, we're going to talk about that today a little bit, but you can also swipe up. I have a free boundary setting guide for you to make it really easy. So check it out. When you're starting in neuro, you need to start with the basics, which is the cranial nerves. There's a really easy mnemonic I put together for you. You can screenshot the next slide. This is the G-rated version. There is a more scandalous version out there if you Google it, which is actually how my teacher taught me. But screenshot the next slide, keep it. It's really helpful for when you're studying for your boards or starting off in neuro. So we are switching from neuro to burnout. Get excited. So I talk a lot about burnout and burnout prevention on my page at Catalyst for Self-Care. If you are someone who suffers from burnout or think you are at risk for burnout or just feel crappy most days and have a really hard time leaving work at work, I really encourage you to check out my page. There's a ton of resources there, lots of free resources and tons of information for you. So check it out. Secondly, I'm going to link a couple posts that I did recently that I think are really helpful. So check them out. I'm going to link them on the next couple slides. But if you think you're at risk for burnout, you're not sure if you are burning out, but you know you feel really crappy, you just want to talk it through with someone, please reach out. I'm here for questions. I have all the time in the world. So if you need support, I'm here. Did you know that if you work in neurology, there's actually some extra certifications that you can get? Some employers like mine will give you extra cash if you have these certifications, but they're also really helpful for reviewing the material, getting really good at your skills, and those are linked on the next slide. Check it out.
We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. Gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, burn, burn.
So let's talk about the money. So keep in mind, when you get a job, you can negotiate your salary. You can also negotiate other things. Like if they won't budge on salary, you can negotiate like a sign-on bonus or your pay time off, how much you get per pay period. Or you can negotiate your schedule, how much admin time you have. There are a lot of things that you can negotiate that don't involve salary that are still incredibly valuable. When you go and get an offer or interview, you should kind of have an idea of what you should be making, whether it be talking to other people or looking online at various resources. I just looked to see what people in my area make. I think it's a little low personally for what I know people making in my area, but it does give you a little bit of a guide. So check it out. So how many of you find it hard to leave work at work? I know sometimes your shift is just brutal, you're exhausted, you get in your car, either you cry, I've been there, or you just feel so numb. You feel so much that you feel nothing at all, honestly. I find a post-shift reflection is really, really helpful. And the post that I did today that looks like this speaks to that, but also on the swipe up is a free one for you that I've created for this community. I implemented this a couple years ago and it's a real game changer for me. I find it really helps me transition home after a long day. Some days will be easier than others, but definitely check it out and see what you think and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for coming to the live. It was so fun connecting. You guys, I had a blast. You had great questions. It's been saved to IGTV, so if you missed it, you can check it out. I want it now that it's getting later in the evening. I just want to talk about sleep a little bit. If you swipe up, I have a fun little sleep guide for you guys for free. You just download it. I used to work in sleep medicine. Actually, at my first NP job, I worked in sleep med for like 4 years. And this guide provides you with a bunch of sleep tips, just how to initiate sleep well, how to maintain sleep, proper sleep hygiene, things like that. Some other things that I find really helpful are apps like the Calm app and Headspace. They have sleep stories and various like guided meditations that can be really helpful and that are really short and not high maintenance. So if you want some help with sleep, swipe up and check it out.